Some Derry good news, some Derry good news. We all could use some Derry good news.
Welcome to another week of good news at Derry. We got through April and we thought, well, things can't get any worse. And then May came along and uttered two words that no one wanted to hear. Murder hornets. So we've had a plague of a virus, a famine of toilet paper, potential plague of hornets. What's next? The Susquehanna turning red? Let's hope not. In the midst of ice cream shortages, continued social distancing, and murder hornets, I think we all could use some Derry good news. This week's episode is sponsored by Ben & Jerry's new flavor, Chip Happens. In a world of coronavirus and murder hornets, Chip Happens. Indulge now because you don't have to worry about swimsuit season this year. First up this week, I want to share a story that made me smile. I love our church. Y'all are just awesome. So since we haven't had any in-person visitation services for several weeks, Russ Bayshore was missing getting to play along with the Derry Brass. So each week he plays his tuba along with the hymns. Now I'm not sure what his neighbor thinks, but I love it. I love how you all are finding ways to still participate in worship. If you sing along with the hymns on Sunday or play an instrument along, let me know. Better yet, take a video of how you sing along on Sunday. I'd love to share it. Now, certain places and activities have opened up in Pennsylvania, and our Derry golfers have taken full advantage of this. They went out for the first time last week to play golf. Now, they were still diligent to follow social distancing protocols and safety. They wore masks, went together, and all rode in separate carts and were intentional about not congregating together. They didn't even have to pull the flags out on the green so there weren't common surfaces touched. They were able to get some fresh air and exercise and be together in some way. It's good news they were able to see one another and play golf in safe and responsible ways. Now, did you know that we've been renovating room 6? It used to be a giant storage closet and office for Jeff and Roger, but we've been slowly clearing it out to make it another usable classroom. Roger and Jeff moved to a different office, don't worry. Now this new room 6 will be a sort of flex space, so if we need another spot for Sunday school, we have it. Another meeting space for scouts or committees, we'll have that too. We'll be able to move tables in and out as needed. We will be putting in new flooring along with cabinets and shelving. It might just all be finished the next time you come to church, and that will be some Derry good news. Now, we've talked on the show before about masks and how so many of you have participated in making and sharing masks with the church and with others. I recently talked with Kelly Barth, who has been making masks with the help of many of you at Derry. So I am joined by Kelly Barth, who many of you know. She's been doing a lot with masks and mask making, dropping off kits to be made at church. So Kelly, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about how this whole mask thing came about in the first place.
So it's funny, I actually was on Twitter like late one night and I saw that Andrew Cuomo had tweeted that fashion designers were making masks in New York City. And I thought, oh, that's a clever idea. And then I went to bed. And the next morning I woke up and I had texts and emails and all sorts of things from people who said, hey, did you see those masks? Do you know how to make them? Can you tell me how to make them? So the first thing I did was just recorded a quick video of how to make masks and just put that out there for people who are interested in learning how to make them themselves.
Yeah. And then it's kind of become this community project in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. Tell us about just all the different ways people have kind of come together to make this happen, and how many total masks you think this group has been responsible for.
So yeah, once I put the video out, I started getting emails from people that are like, I want to do this, but all the fabric stores are closed. So what can I do? And so at first I started just coordinating like porch pickups and drop-offs with people. And then at the same time, I was talking to Sue George about sewing masks for organizations that had contacted the church. And I pretty quickly realized there weren't enough hours in the day for me to be sewing all these masks and also driving fabric to people all over the place. So that's when I asked Sue if it would be all right if I just put together some kits and brought them to the church. And in the kits, I included some fabric, elastic, and then also directions for how to make masks. And she was excited about the idea. So I put together, I think, 20 kits in the first round and brought those to the church. And I wasn't sure how they'd be received, but within about an hour, I was getting emails like, hey, the mask making kits are all gone.
It's like
Are you going
toilet
to make
paper.
more? Exactly. Yeah, they were gone right away. So I was excited. There was a good response to it. And a lot of people wanted to sew. And then an unexpected thing happened, which was that I started getting more emails from people saying, hey, I see what you're doing and I want to be a part of it. I have this fabric that's just sitting in my house. Can you use it? And so people started donating supplies to make more kits. And then people also were purchasing supplies and having them shipped to make more kits. So with their help, we've been able to put together, I think, 100 kits now, which is enough to make over 1,000 masks, which is really exciting. Yeah.
And then people have been sending you elastic and all these things, and then you actually took orders from your Kabooties page because you were teaming up with some others.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Okay, so I'm part of a group of female entrepreneurs through my small business. And one of our members, she normally makes these adorable little crocheted toys. And she actually took her hobby of crocheting and then saw the Syrian refugee crisis and said, I'm going to take my crocheted toys and I'm going to go help Syrian refugees. So she went actually to Turkey and started a social enterprise where she hires specifically refugee mothers to make these toys. But because of the pandemic, their production was pretty much shut down because all the toy stores closed. So she approached our group and said, hey, I need to keep paying these women, but there's no work for them. Does anybody have work we can do? And so I offered to pay her for masks. So she was able to have her, these refugees making all these masks for us, and she was able to pay them a living wage to make the masks. And then we were able to provide them for a reasonable price to people in our community here. So that was really cool. So we got masks out to people who needed them that didn't know how to sew using the kits. And we were able to support those moms too, which is really neat. And we sent out over 250 masks that way.
That's some very good news.
Yeah.
So what do you think are the next steps for you, or if people want to help or want to find ways to contribute to this? What do you think the next steps would be?
Yeah, so I am still bringing kits to the church as I'm able to get supplies. So if people are interested in contributing supplies, they can email kelly@kabooties.com. If you are interested in making masks and you'd like to pick up a kit, whenever I drop off masks at the church, I'm posting in the, what's the group called? I Need This, I Can Help, I think. Yep, so I'm posting in that group as I drop masks off if people are interested. And then my hope is that when people make the mask from their kit, they're keeping what they need. And then there's also a list in that kit of where you can donate masks to if you have extras.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all you're doing and helping connect all these people literally around the world to come together on this project.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly, and everyone else who has been making masks. If you have made masks and shared them, please let me know. I'd love to highlight you and your Derry good news. Last Friday, the She Project hosted a Zoom chat to hear an update from Veda Gill on the impact of coronavirus across Pakistan. The She Project has helped feed nearly 300 families in Pakistan. They also did a digital sale of items, shawls and bags, and raised $375 to support families in Pakistan. If you'd like a PDF of other items for sale or know what there might be available, please contact Nicola Burke. Now, last week, a certain small person stole the show, to which she responded, and I quote, "Move over, Derry Good News. It's time for Verity Good News." She insists she needs a weekly segment, and according to the comments, many of you agree. So now it's time for
some Verity Good News, some Verity Good News. We all could use some Verity Good News.
Welcome to Verity Good News. I am your host, Verity. I would like to share some good news with you. I really like it to hidden symbols. Maybe you have done that with your family. If you haven't, it would be a great idea if you went into that hidden symbols. Because they can help you find out hidden symbols about lots of things.
Is that the Sunday school lesson?
Yes.
What kind of hidden symbols did you find?
We found a giraffe in the middle of an elephant.
Oh, wow.
It was between a tree, and then the bottom of him, a rhinoceros.
Oh, wow.
And on the mail trucks, we saw an arrow and a sideways Hershey kiss, and we even found some hidden symbols that were two people sharing some chips dipped in salsa. And on a Hershey Kiss bag, you can see the sideways Hershey Kiss in between some of the letters. And the cross had a fish in the middle of the dove. There was an open Bible, and what were those other things, Daddy?
There was a font and some other stuff. What other good news would you like to share?
And some other good news would be I'm really getting to spend time with my family, and it's like been more fun to have Daddy home more often.
Do you have some suggestions of fun things kids can do?
Yes, Daddy. You can play on your yard with your mother or your daddy, or you can stay at home and do video games and things like that.
Have you been writing any coronavirus songs?
Yes.
Would you like to share one?
And this time we pull together, we help each other in this time of COVID world. We aren't wasting food or other things, we keep them all. We don't use too much, we don't use too less. This is all. We can pull together and help each other. We can help each other in this COVID world. Goodbye, everybody.
Some Verity good news, some Verity good news. We all could use some Verity good news.
Thank you, Verity, and a shout out to everyone who is helping entertain, teach, and care for children during this time. A big thank you to Emmy Stillman for her weekly Sunday school classes for kids. Now, I know we all hope to be back at Derry soon, and while I can't tell you when that will happen, I can tell you it will happen one day. But until then, here is a special COVID church version of I'll Be Back from the Broadway show Hamilton. Because that's just as good, right? Okay, it isn't. But hopefully it makes you smile and reminds you we will be back one day. But until then, we're still together. We're still the church. And God is with us and for us. And that is Derry Good News. You say you miss getting dressed up and coming to Derry Sunday. You cry when you hear this could last a whole year. Oh, it must be a lie. Don't be sad. Remember that through any wilderness God makes a way. Now it's not that bad. Remember, despite separation, we're still your fam. We'll be back, soon you'll see. But remember, it's not up to me. We'll be back, time will tell. Our concern is you stay safe and well through summer and into fall. We will see each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, we will stay away and keep our distance to remind you of our love. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. You say it's hard to live stream and sing the songs, but we'll show the text and music before too long. And no, we can't go back to normal, though I'd love to return to normal. What was ever normal? There'll be a new normal forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. We'll be back, not like before. We won't shake hands so much anymore. So stay safe for these days until we meet again to sing God's praise. While you're gone, we're all sad, but getting COVID seems to be quite bad. So when push comes to shove, we will wear a mask and stick to live stream to remind you of our love. Da 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 da. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da da. Everybody, da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da.
Some Derry good news, some Derry good news. We all could use some Derry good news.